Hi, I'm Kelsey Zeiser. I'm a senior editor at Light Reading, and we're here at the Big 5G event in Austin, and I'm joined by Rachel Rea with Boingo. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
So give us a little update on Boingo's work with some transportation hubs in New Jersey and New York. What's going on there?
So we have a ton going on in New York and New Jersey. As you know, we're partners with the Port Authority of New York, and so we've been deploying 5G at all the New York airports. We have projects going on at LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark. We're also deploying 5G at the Port Authority bus terminal, so another big transportation hub for us, as well as the Lincoln and Holland Tunnel. And now we're currently working on designing 5G for the World Trade Center, but as you know, the Oculus building is a beautiful architectural building, so hiding antennas is going to be a little challenging, especially at millimeter wave, but you know, I love a challenge, so we're working on that one. And then our other big partner in New York and New Jersey is the MTA for transportation hubs, and we just launched, I don't know if you saw any of the press, but Grand Central Madison opened, and we have a 5G network there operating in the concourse and on the platforms, and then we're upgrading and we're going to add millimeter wave there in the coming year. And then we're also now working on deploying a brand new DAS network at Penn Station, which is the largest infrastructure project in North America, which will be both 4G and 5G.
Yeah, so super busy right now.
Super busy with transportation hubs, yeah.
But I always appreciate the connectivity at the airports when I'm waiting to get on and can get a little bit of work done. It's always pretty seamless.
So when I'm going through when I'm through the airport and I'm running a speed test, and I'm like, how's this network doing? How's it? So I landed in Austin, which is another one of our airports, and I'm like looking around at antennas at APs, green light, running a speed test, making sure that everything's working.
Yeah. And so you mentioned the Oculus building and having the antennas, being able to hide them. What's going on with 5G indoors? What are some of the challenges there? How's that going, and why is now the right time to do that?
So there's two pieces to deploying 5G indoors, right? You have the neutral host piece, which is going to be T-Mobile's 2.5 network, as well as C-band will be on our neutral host networks. And I think some of the challenges there is getting the carriers to all agree to the same design, making sure that they all want to deploy things the right way, who's going to, power allocation, spectrum allocation. Those are the challenges, but that's what we do, right? We work through those and make sure that we also are accommodating to our venue partners and making sure that we deliver aesthetically what they want to see in their building. So bringing all that together and deploying a great neutral host product, that's number one. And then millimeter wave is the other challenge, and spectrum that we're deploying, and that's different because there's no neutral host millimeter wave equipment out there, so everybody's an individual network. And so deploying AT&T and Verizon on millimeter wave at venues without creating an antenna farm and without interfering with our DAS network is the other challenge we're overcoming. But so far, we've been very successful at deploying these multiple networks, 5G networks indoors. And that's our focus for 2023 and 2024. That's what we'll be doing. Yeah.
And you mentioned neutral hosts. Are U.S. mobile operators fairly open to working with neutral hosts?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you deploy a network, right? You're going to deploy the same equipment, whether it's neutral host and it supports 3 carriers, and maybe a 4th. Or if you deploy a single layer, right? And so for venues, it's better because you have less equipment in the building, because space is another concern that we have to overcome, and you don't want to create an antenna farm in a building. And then for the carriers, they like the neutral host model because we take a network and we divide by 3. So each carrier only pays for the portion of the network that they're using. So it's a cost savings to them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll say that, but
there.
Yeah.
But it's nice. And I know that Boingo works a lot with military bases. Any updates on, providing connectivity to those that are deployed in the military?
Yeah, I mean, we do a ton with the DoD, as you know. So we have Wi-Fi networks in barracks across the country, which is something we're very proud of, that we bring connectivity to our servicemen and women. We've also have a towers team. And so we're deploying macro towers and small cells across a lot of these bases, which is bringing 4G and 5G connectivity to military bases across the country. And that's a smaller part of Boingo right now, but quickly growing. So not just when they're in their barracks playing their video games, but also when they're mobile and they're driving around base, they'll have connectivity, which is important. And then lastly, we just finished a private 5G deployment at Whidbey Island, which we're very proud of. That was a partnership with JMA and Hughes and a few others, Dish, to deploy the private 5G network, which is the first one we deployed with the DoD, and we're hoping that we'll be deploying more with them in the future.
Yeah, that's great. Lots going on
Lots
there
going
as well.
on. Yeah, very busy.
Yeah, and just to wrap up, so we were on a panel together yesterday with the Women in Comms event, which was really nice turnout. Any highlights that you wanted to share from that panel, or any thoughts on what Boingo's doing specifically to support women in tech and diversity as well?
Yeah, so first, I mean, you're doing a great job with the Women in Comms. I remember coming to this event several years ago, and there were like 10 of us in the room. And the fact that there were probably, 60, 70, 80-ish? 82 people. So I love how it's grown. That's so exciting. And it's not just all women, it's men and women, because we're in it together.
Right.
So, yeah, that was great to see. It's a nice job there. And then, the thing that I took away from those panels is that, when you think about the different speakers and then the different panels, they blended together. Even when we were talking, I drew from the previous panels and so it's not, we talked about negotiating, but negotiating connects to the, being your authentic self and not feeling like you're bragging and some of the other things that we discussed that day. So, it's great how they all relate to each other, and there's kind of an overarching message of just, women need to be supportive of each other and help each other in business. And we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go, so we need to continue down this path. And for Boingo, yes, I mean, we do a ton, right? We have DE&I initiatives. I work closely with our HR team. I'm an executive sponsor for Boingo Women. And there's just a ton that we do internally as well externally. I think you saw the conversation I had with Nikki Palmer, which was great. I know we had over 400 people listening to that. So we're just trying to do more of that. And in the way that we spend a lot of money at Boingo. And so we have a huge initiative to spend more with women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses. So there's and we're trying to even grow that, how much we spend with disadvantaged companies and small business owners, to make sure that not only do we have these initiatives for our employees in our community, but also that where we're spending our money is helping the people that are trying to grow those minority and women-owned businesses.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Always good to see you.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you.